Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a decision I made and I went ahead and implemented this week. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Because I had a number of factors really rise and let me do this, and like I told you guys, I only relatively recently got to a point to where I could really take my training as seriously as I wanted. I had a good period of time, about a year long, where a lot of outside factors made it difficult to train in the way that I want to. A lot of people will be like, well, we don't understand what those are. Well, you don't need to know what those are. I had life factors that prevented me from training the way that I wanted. At a certain point, when we're discussing that for ourselves or anyone else, it doesn't matter what they are. We all run through periods of time in our life where things get in the way of our training. That's called life. It happens. Part of being an adult. But I've had things change in a direction to where I can put more focus on my training. In fact, even the training I've been doing the last few months actually isn't at the potential that I could take my training. And I did that video the other day, a few weeks back, really asking about a hypothetical in prison, right? What would you do if you had to get to the 400 bench and a 600 squat in this environment? Well, I've been training, first of all, with what I was calling lift mastery, and I did that for a couple months. Made some decent strength gains again because I started squatting and doing chest presses again because I hadn't done any benching. I hadn't been squatting. I'd been deadlifting, overhead pressing, chin-ups, rows, things like that. That's what I've been doing when I was able to get in the gym to even do that. Even though I filmed 62 total workouts last year, a lot of that was this lift mastery, doing high volumes of triples. I established a baseline again, got some hypertrophy, got some gains on my lifts, and then for a couple of months, I eased into a 4-day concurrent split. Now, to be honest, the gains were pretty decent on that. Would I say that I'm happy with those gains? 80% happy. I gained muscle. I've lost body fat. I've gotten stronger. My work sets on my floor press have gone up a good 25 pounds. My overhead press 3-rep max went up about 17 pounds. All right. I put 50 pounds on my 3-rep max on my squat. And I started deadlifting heavier again because I've been doing really high volume deadlifting. In fact, I'm back up to doing triples right now, beltless while wearing Olympic shoes. So I've got an elevated heel. Beltless, no straps. I'm doing triples with 545. Now that's obviously not my max, but that's what I'm doing, and I do that every week. I do triples with that. So what I've been doing the last couple weeks. So overall happy with that. But I know based upon that video I did, I'm in a life situation to where I actually have a lot more free time than most people. YouTube's more or less my full-time gig. Not saying it's my only stream of income, but it's pretty high up there. And I have the ability to sleep 10, 12 hours a day if I want. I have the ability to go to the gym every single day if I want. I can spend 2 or 3 hours at the gym if I want every day. I actually am lucky enough right now, due to different choices and things I've done, to be in a situation where I have the ability to do that. Now, I'm standing here telling people I want to get really, really strong again. I want to get brutally strong. And me making that video made me reevaluate that for myself, because that was a thought experiment. But, I like to apply these thought experiments to myself. And I realized, I have access to whatever foods I want realistically. I can sleep as much as I want. I can train as much as I want. Why am I doing a 4-day split? I'm doing a sort of training that someone would do who's competing in some other sport or who has a full-time job. Like a 4-day split with a concurrent training I was recommending is great for people who have full-time lives outside of the gym who want to maximize their results, and it works good for that. 4-day body part splits, not body part, but movement pattern splits like that are more or less upper lower. With concurrent periodization, they work great for that. Especially for people with busy lives who still can get in the gym 4 days a week. I can get in as much as I want. So I started thinking about it, and I started implementing Bulgarian style training again, which I've used in the past, I've discussed in the past. That's what I used last time. I got my raw squat back to 508 pounds, back when I was living in the UK doing that, because I had a garage gym. I could squat every day. It worked. It worked really well. Considering 220s, got back to 508. Well, there's no reason I can't get there again. No reason I can't get past that again. Why stop there? Why stop there? It's a question I asked myself. So yeah, I decided to ease back into some Bulgarian training, and this is more or less an update. I'll over time kind of discuss with you guys what I'm doing with it. I'm not filming any of it right now. You guys can more or less figure out some of the possible reasons. It creates problems for me right now to film. Until I'm in an environment where I feel comfortable filming again. Sorry, my dog's out there barking. Until I feel comfortable filming again in an environment where it's safe for me to do so and there's not problems associated with it, which will happen. Might happen this year. We'll see. I'm just going to do the training as I go. I'm keeping spreadsheets, and I'm doing a loose pattern Bulgarian training, and I guess the best way to say it, I've read the material out there and seen the videos on every person who does Bulgarian training. I've always stayed up to speed on it because I think for people trying to get brutally strong, I think it's one of the best protocols out there if your lifestyle allows for it, and mine did when I ran it before. But, when you look at the different schools of thought and the way people do it, it goes from everything from high specificity to low specificity. Because if you take people who like Max Adia, I'm not sure, with Juggernaut training systems, he'll discuss it as a high specificity training. Greg Knuckles will also. And they're essentially right, but then you have other takes on it. You have guys like Jamie Lewis on the other extreme with his version of it, which he calls chaos and pain, which is almost random exercise. And Jamie's philosophy is that this is how you get strong all the way around, that you should just be all around strong. I think the truth of the matter is somewhere between the two, and I think either method can be adapted and eased into. I don't think it needs to be stuck in that pattern. It's high specificity training if you only do 3 or 4 exercises and you train 6 days a week, right? Jamie's protocol is the other extreme. He's like, you just need to come in and hit a really, really heavy top set on some sort of squat, some sort of push, and some sort of pull every day. I do like that element of it, but I don't like it that loose. I don't like Jamie's chaos and pain loose element of it, although Jamie is brutally strong. Even though he went and competed in powerlifting after doing this for a long time, he wasn't a powerlifter. He's just like, I just want to be all around strong. Because Jamie puts probably more focus on the push press than he does on benching. He doesn't care about the bench. Doesn't even like to train the bench other than he had to do it in powerlifting meets. Does more incline work, overhead work, push presses, behind the neck push presses. That's his cup of tea. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, one day you do full squats, other day pause squats, other day front squats, pin squats, partial squats, chain squats. It's just squat, 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 squat every day. He just rotates through it. Now, the upside to the continual rotations, the way Jamie does it with low specificity, you get strong at every joint angle. You get strong at all these movement patterns. You can avoid some overuse injuries because, again, there's enough exercise variation. I like that element that Jamie brings to it, but I think some of that's a little too disorganized, and I don't like the partials and all that other nonsense. I think partial reps are a waste of time. But there is a method to his madness. There's a method to his madness. And it's actually relatively intelligent. It's actually pretty genius in its own right. And it's different. But it works. I mean, he's brutally strong. Are we going to argue that? Guys walks into the 181, squats 670. Sorry, pulls 670 without a belt, and then deadlifts over 600 pounds without wraps at 180 pounds. And ripped. He was like 7-8% body fat. That works. Now he's short, but it works. I mean, we can't argue that he's not strong. You can't make that argument. The philosophy works. And he's strong at more than just a squat, bench, and deadlift. Then you've got the other extreme where it's literally squat, bench, deadlift, maybe overhead press. So you got guys like Greg Knuckles who'll discuss that. But I think the reality of it is, for me, I'm going to start a little more high specificity. I'm doing the same concept that Jamie does of, I'm going to do a squat, I'm going to do a press, and some sort of pull every day. I'm only going to deadlift once a week because that's what I've been doing. It's working fine for me. But the main thing with the squatting, I'm going to be rotating through beltless pause squats. belted normal squats, rotate through those through the week. The whole idea though is that I'm still going to be doing a back squat. I'm still going to be doing full range of motion. I'm going to do a lot of pause work. But the thing is staying in that groove of heavy squatting every single day. And I'm a couple days into that again, and actually it feels really good. I'm not getting the soreness. Normally my heavy squat day, I get some DOMs afterwards. I don't have it. I squatted again today, and I walked out, all my DOMs disappeared. So I'm actually feeling better than I have been only squatting twice a week, squatting consecutive days now. It's getting rid of the soreness. The weights feel easier. It's already getting more manageable because it's coming in and my body's realizing it's going to have to just squat every day, just get used to it. But again, I'll probably rotate through and do probably half with belt, half without belt. I'll start wearing a belt again, but I think it's important to maintain beltless strength. But the belted lifts will let me overload my quads more because I will get the same range of motion with a heavier weight because the belt lets you add more weight. But we're not sacrificing range of motion, so it actually does overload the quads. My quads are my weak link in my squat. I think that'll help. Eventually, if I need to, for a little more quad assistance, I might start rotating in some front squat days. Again, get all around strong on squatting. I'm probably just going to alternate the floor press and the overhead press for now, but I've got a good dipping belt. I can always rotate in dips if I start to need to. I eventually rotate the flat bench back in if I need to. But, again, I'm PRing. PR every day this week, just tiny little micro PRs on my presses. And then pulling, I'm probably going to just deadlift once a week. And for now, I need to get strong on weighted chin-ups. So we come back over to specificity. I feel like my weighted chin-ups are a weak link. I feel like I'd get more bicep development if I got really strong on weighted chin-ups. So I'm doing those at least 4 days a week. And I might do a Pendlay row day just to rotate it up for now. But the difference is the beauty of a system like this, because I'm doing some sort of squat, push, and pull 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week, for heavies. I'm going up to somewhere between a 1 to 3 rep training max every day. Ideally, I want to focus more on threes for now, but if I get a weight that I can only do a single or a double, I'll do a single or a double. Then call it a training max if that's how it feels. That's the thing. You've got to be intuitive with your body for a system like this. But I feel like I've reestablished enough of a base with the high volume triples and then running into concurrent training for a couple of months. I feel like I've got enough base again. I've got enough technique down on these exercises that I can ease back into a system like this. And the beauty of it is that as I want to add other lifts in, I can start adding in more of the athletic lifts again, because eventually I do want to get good at every lift that we have a strength standard for. And then a couple of other odd lifts, I don't think it's a bad idea to be strong at weighted chin-ups. I think even though that we don't have a strength standard for that, I think it's a great exercise. I think it's a great bicep builder. It'd probably make me look more aesthetic if I got stronger at them and lost more fat, right? Probably help my YouTube outreach to have more bicep and smaller waist. I'd probably make more money. Probably make more money than afford better steak. So, again, weighted chin-ups are a good exercise to be strong at. I see no problem with that. Focusing on those some weeks or periods of time. But, things like the power clean, eventually the power snatch. But the thing is, by doing it in a system like that, I don't think we have to do the high specificity. I think John Brose talks about that too, of rotating lifts in to avoid burnout. That's where John Brose and Jamie Lewis both agree, and I think there's a degree of truth to that. It's kind of like we talked about before with Steffi Cohen stuff of just doing these minor variations to bring up weak links. Well, since you're going to do 3 different lifts every day anyways, these minor variations are what, again, can help keep you from burning out. Because a system like this, you can burn out real easily. Again, avoiding overuse injuries, filling in the weak gaps in your musculature. So yeah, I'm definitely going to eventually rotate in these other things once I get my base where I want it. And I need to be squatting over 500 again before I worry about the minor stuff. I'm not going to worry about learning the snatch as one of my pull exercises until I can squat over 500 pounds raw again. It's a waste of time for me personally, but it's a good exercise, good for explosiveness, getting really good at power cleans. Yeah, once I get better at the chin-ups, build my base again, get my squat back up to a respectable level, because I'm down in the low 400s, mid 400s right now on my squat. Getting that back up over 500, I'll start working more power cleans. And that's the beauty of this, Again, if it starts to get difficult to recover on the deadlifting, I need more deadlifting, I can rotate in some deficit deadlifts. And that's, again, the idea. Being able to rotate these lifts in during the process, you don't lose strength on the main lifts. Because if you're running a system like this and you keep doing any lift that you particularly care about, you can have a lift that you really care about that you can do a variation of that pattern. You can come and do one you care about once or twice a week and not lose any strength at it while you put more focus on something else. That's also the beauty of a system like this. And the main thing is that you're always doing the basic movement patterns all the time, every day. Because if you do some sort of squat, pull, and press really heavy every single day, you'll stay all around strong. And if you're still training each lift at least one heavy top end set every single week, you'll maintain your strength on it while you work on something else, and it will let you just build up. And I've used this sort of system before very successfully. I know that it works. It's not for everybody. And it's a tough system, but I'm at a point in my life where I can do this again, Again, it's just about putting yourself in the right mindset. And I feel like I'm at that point in my life again where I'm in the mindset to make this system work. And I wasn't there a year ago. I wasn't there 6 months ago. I am now. It was a matter of being in the right mindset to say, you know what, I enjoy training this way. I know it works. Well, let's get strong. Let's get brutally strong and have fun doing it. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.